and welcome to my channel, and I'm Stephanie, and this is a new goal for myself. So, as the title and probably what I just said a minute ago, 30 seconds ago, 15 seconds ago, this is going to be a new goal for me. I am such a horrible physical book reader. I am about to challenge myself to read that stack of books you see in the thumbnails by the end of the year. So that is 11 books. 11 books that I'm going to try and get to that are physical books by the end of this year. Now, I checked them out from my library. My library is pretty great. They give you 4 renewals pretty much, and as long as there isn't a wait list for the book, or the book doesn't, as long as there isn't a wait list for the book, you can actually go in before your last renewal is up, or take the last renewal, and then when you have 0, you can go in and be like, hey, is there a wait list? No, there isn't. Can I just go ahead and check this in and check it right back out? So these are the 11 books that I am going to make myself read before the end of this year. Let me show you what you guys are going to be hearing about. So it is pretty big right now that Tessa Dare is getting so much love by so many of the channels that I watch. Amanda over at The Naughty Librarian is on a Tessa Dare kick. Lauren from the novel Lush is loving some Tessa Dare right now. I believe Bree from Bree Hill is also reading some Tessa Dare. So I decided to jump on the bandwagon as well. And I got Romancing the Duke, Castles Ever After. I believe this is book number 1. And it's about Regency and dukes and princesses and royalty. So yeah, I'm jumping on it. I've heard very good things about this book. I've heard good things about this series, the Castles Ever After series, so I'm really looking forward to jumping into this one. I also got book number 2, I believe it is, and that is When a Scot Ties the Knot in the Castles Ever After series by Tessa Dare. And I also got book number 3, which is Say Yes to the Marquise by Tessa Dare in the Castles Ever After series. So I'm looking forward to jumping into these books. I also got, I believe this is book number 2 in the Girl Meets Duke series, but it's the Duchess deal and by Tessa Dare. And I didn't get book number 4 in the Castles Ever After series. As I said, I believe this is book number 1. I am on the wait list for book number 2 in this series, so yes. I was also looking through some of the books that I've gotten from the conventions that I went to and found that I had an art copy of Kiss Collector by Wendy Higgins. This book doesn't come out until December, so I'm going to have to get it read before December comes about. I believe it's a YA book. Looking at the cover, I'm thinking it's a YA, and one of the taglines on the back here, it says, can a kiss ever be just a kiss? So I'm sort of looking forward to this. This is definitely a YA. So not sure when I'll get to it, but it will be hopefully before the end of the year. That one was mine, by the way. I own that, so if it doesn't get read, then it just doesn't get read. But these have to go back to the library. Next, I got Dare Me. I believe I got this before. I'm not exactly sure, or I hauled it before and just never got around to it. But I am going to read this before I turn it back in. It's going to happen. You guys are going to hear about this. I love the cover. That is what drew me to it and said, hey, come pick me up and read me. Other than that, Gillian Flynn says that it's Lord of the Flies set in a high school cheerleading squad. Tense, dark, and beautifully written. Cheerleading, yes. High school, but cheerleading, yes. Bring it on. Yeah. Be aggressive. aggressive. Next thing I saw at the library was 30 Days by Christine Diabo. I believe that's how it said. And it just looks like a sexy cover right here. And I was like, oh, I gotta pick that up and see what's going on with that. So I figured, yeah, sexy cover, possibly good story. I also wanted to get into some into some mysteries. So I went ahead and saw this one. This is a new release by Ellen Crosby. It's called The Merlot Murders. And I believe this is a second book maybe in her series of wine country mysteries. And this book is actually set in Northern Virginia. I'm located in Northern Virginia, so I would like to read about some Northern Virginia wineries, and hopefully there's a mystery for murder in there as well. Then, who doesn't love food? I love food. And when I saw these two mysteries, I was like, oh yes. And then on top of that, there's recipes in them. So I got Apple Turnover Murder, a Hannah Swanson murder with recipes. And from what I understand, there are over 10 recipes for cookies and desserts in this mystery, along with whatever else is going on. I also got Red Velvet Cupcake Murder, another book in this series as well, and it also has, and I might actually think about getting the rest of the series because I'm digging some of the other titles. We have Cinnamon Roll Murder, Double Food Cake Murder, Apple Turnover Murder, which I have right here, Cream Puff Murder, Cherry Cheesecake Murder, Peach Cobbler Murder, Sugar Cookie Murder, Fudge Cupcake Murder, and Lemon Meringue Pie Murder. So I might just have to get on my foodie murder kick. Yes. And then finally, I decided to get a young adult graphic novel, which I had seen, I think, over at someone else's channel, but I'm not exactly sure. But I saw this and was like, oh, I might need to read that because I think it's cute and it looks interesting. And it's called The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. And I sort of started, I flipped through it, and it looks like it might be like a Cinderella sort of graphic novel, but it's young adult. And yes, I can't wait to get into this. This is kind of chunky though. Look at that. It's kind of chunky. It looks like it is 280 or 90 pages. So, yeah. Whew. Have you heard of any of the books that I just talked about? Have you read any of the books that I just talked about? What did you think about the books that I just talked about? Let me know, are there any of those books that you want to hear about more than the others? I may push those up the list. So what I plan on trying to do is reading, just setting aside, like my son does every single day, I will be setting aside probably an hour to read a physical book. That is going to be the challenge for me. Find an hour out of my day to block out everything else and just read that physical book. So, challenge is on. I challenge you to join me for the rest of the year. So that is roughly what? October, November, December. So 3 months and a half because we're in the middle of September. I challenge you as well. So please join in. And if you do, definitely check over at my Twitter account, which is down in the description box so you guys can follow along with me. I will do my best to try and post things over there at Twitter and maybe do some photos for Instagram to show you guys that I'm actually reading for my hour type thing. I don't know. It's a lot to take on and things like that. I like to start things and then not complete them, except for when it comes to listening to audiobooks that really get my intrigue and this channel. I've been rocking this channel for like 3 years. A little discouragement here and there, but you know, I pulled it together. This is a challenge that I'm really going to sort of enjoy because it has to do with books, and I have completely fallen in love with books, and I love it. So, I had no clue what I was going to do for this Thursday video, so you guys get my ramblings, and if you think this is a great idea, let me know down in the comments as well. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later.